am so excited and happy to welcome you guys to the Global Domination Mindset Showcase 2021. I'm looking forward to everyone getting their minds prepared, foundations laid, and all kinds of inspiration coming forth from our powerful speakers that we're going to be bringing forth today. Listen, I want you to get on in the room. I want you to invite someone else, and I want you to also do me a favor because I want to bless you. I want to bless you. You're going to be blessed today anyway. You're going to be blessed by the speakers. You're going to be blessed by their knowledge, wisdom, and inspiration that they share. You're going to be blessed by the special gifts that they offer. And we want to bless you to be able to come back and get yourself a double dip of this conference. But it's not going to be live forever. It's going to be taken down this evening, and the only way for you to catch the replay is if you are registered. So if you would click that link down on the bottom of your page, it's I will go ahead and put it in the comments as well to make it easier for you to click. I want you to go ahead and register. Yeah, why am I registering for something that I'm already seeing? Well, because that way we can make sure we stay connected with you for all of the fantastic deliciousness that the speakers are going to be bringing and sharing with the audiences. Hey guys, I really appreciate you joining. Thank you for letting me know that you are on. Make sure that you comment, share, and subscribe. If you're watching us in any of your mediums, go ahead, comment, share, and subscribe so that we can make sure that you get everything out of this. And the people that are close to you, the ones that you know who are like, listen, 2020 was not what I wanted, or maybe it was, right? But you want to go to the next dimension. You want to go to the next level. You want to go to the next stratosphere with what you bring about in 2021. I'm going to tell you that it starts right here. It starts in your mind. It starts with what you're feeding yourself. And I'm not talking about the food that you're feeding yourself. I'm talking about the things that you're allowing into your ears and into your eyes and into your heart. That is what is going to accelerate your growth each and every day. That is what is going to move you into manifestation. That is what is going to keep you from slipping off into doubt and disbelief, is having the right mindset. And I'm telling you, the speakers that we have today, well, you know what? Let me just share with you some of the speakers that we have today, because that way you can see for yourself that it is going to be a mind-blowing conference. I want you to understand that you don't have to do this on your own. You can do it with help, with knowledge, wisdom.
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion.
We have got so much goodness coming your way. First up is going to be Marlon Smith, and then we have fantastic Cortez Springer. Dr. Frank Marshall will follow him, followed by William Brown, and then Johnny Campbell and Brian K. McNeill. Bringing it all together with a nice, neat bow is Sir Charles Cary. And all of these speakers have spoken all over the world, sharing their knowledge, wisdom, and expertise to improve the lives of others. Their conferences go for hundreds and thousands of dollars. Their summits are standing room only, but you have the opportunity to participate right here from the comfort of your own home without having to look over any big hats. You don't have to worry about anybody standing in your way. You're able to be up close and personal, face to face with the speakers. Now, I'd love to know where you're watching us from, so go ahead and put in the comments where you're watching us from so that we can see who and what is here and what you plan to dominate in 2021. If you want to go ahead and put your 2021 goal in the comments so we can shout you out as well and put together some purposeful prayer in your direction, We want you to do it, and we want you to do it right now. Go ahead and take a moment to share. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. We want to make this the best conference yet. And coming up in just 2 minutes is Marlon Smith. He's going to be bringing it up hot, hot, hot. Coming up hot, bringing it up live. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you so much for subscribing. I want you to go ahead and bring them into the room. Thank you for all of your consistent support of the Empowerment Network and the Empowerment Duo page. We believe that together we achieve more, and that economic independence is achieved through entrepreneurship. We're grateful that each and every single one of our goals and dreams is possible, because with God, all things are possible. Let's go ahead and get it together. Make sure that you comment, like, and share. I'm going to do some sharing myself, because sharing is caring. Get your phones out. Tag somebody, start a watch party, do something to get them here, so that you're not trying to explain to somebody what you had the opportunity to participate in. You want to be able to show them firsthand, because trying to tell them tomorrow, girl, you should have been there, or guy, you should have been there, trying to do that tomorrow, it just ain't gonna work. Ms. Vivian, shout them out. Brooklyn, New York is in the house. Thank you so much. Charlotte, North Carolina is in the house. Thank you so much. We want you here, bringing forth your energy so that our speakers can continue to pour into you. I am Lisa Santiago McNeill. I am the founder of the Empowerment Network and Empowerment Publishing and Multimedia. I am all about bringing these stories of overcoming to life, and each one of these powerful speakers has a story to tell. Their life is their legacy, and the things that they've learned is now what they are using to help change the world. Thank you so much from St. Louis, Angela, for tuning in. Make sure that you invite a friend. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing, Brittany, for sharing, Bill, Cortez. We appreciate you guys. We know that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us, and we can do it better if we do it together. I want to tell you right now that there is no way that you will be the same. I want you to know right now, coming to the stage is Marlon E. Smith. He is an international business presenter, and he has given presentations in over 45 states and 18 countries. He was a semifinalist for Oprah's Big Give. He has led the Tony Robbins Global Youth Summit. He is a certified legacy wealth strategist, and he is excited to support your business and family in creating generational health. I tell you, and I kid you not, when we bring forth someone to the dais here, we are bringing you quality, we are bringing you greatness, we are bringing you none other than Mr. Marlon Smith. Come to the stage.
Thank you. Listen, there is greatness within you. I want you not just to hear those words, I want you to feel what I'm saying, because you were born on purpose. Listen, I hear a lot of people talk about, 2020 being so challenging. Well, here's what I want you to understand. You are still standing. That means there's more for you to do. That's what that says to me. There's more for you to do. And I have to tell you this, 2020 was an eye-opener for me personally. Yes, I get it. Life turned upside down. Life as we knew it will never be the same. But again, what doesn't destroy you makes you stronger. And so I don't know what your situation is. I don't know where you are. And yes, gapaps.com. That's what I'm going to break down. GAPAPS. As you heard in the introduction, I've traveled to 45 states, 18 countries, giving leadership presentations, wealth strategy programs. And I realized that real leadership comes down to leading in your finances, leading in your relationships, leading in your physical well-being. And so with that being shared, I want to say this, GAPAPS, GAPAPS. I'm making a very special offer to everyone, but I want you to understand, let's talk about it. GAPAPS is goals, attitude, plan, action, persistence, success. G, goals. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. You got to write the vision, make it plain that he that pick it up runs with it. The way for you to have global domination, that mindset, you got to know where you're going. I love what Stephen Covey talks about, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He says, start with the end in mind. What is your vision? If I was to ask you, what's your vision? You know, I don't want to just play just for 2021. Why not make this the best decade? Make 2020s the best decade ever. What do you say? Are you up for it? I believe it's possible. So G is goals. Write your vision. Tonight, before you go to bed, ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking you to write your goals on paper. Why? Because of this. 1953, researchers went to Harvard University. They asked the graduating class one question. They said, what are your goals? 55% of the graduating students of Harvard University had a vague idea of their goals and dreams. They said, I want to be rich. I want to live the good life. Those are vague goals. 42% of the graduating class had more specific goals. They said, I want to work for this company. I want to drive this type of car. But guess what? Their goals weren't written down. They were just up in their mind. Only 3%, how many? 3% had their goals written down. And that 3% reviewed their goals 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, before they went to bed. 30 years later, 1983, researchers came back to Harvard to find out where the class of 53 ended up. And they were shocked. The 3% that had their goals written down, check this out. We're talking about global domination. The 3% that had their goals written down, that 3% was more wealthy than the 97% of their classmates collectively. Spiritually, they were more in tune. Physically, they were in better shape, and their relationships were more healthy. Here's what the researchers concluded. It wasn't about intelligence. They all had similar IQs. It wasn't about being lucky. They all had similar breaks in life. The only difference was that the 3% had focus. What did they have? Focus. I'm here to tell you tonight before you go to bed, write down what is your vision for 2030. As you go into 2030, what's your vision? Where will you be? Who's in your life? What have you achieved? What business? How much money do you have in the bank account? What are you doing? Write it down. Write it down. Because you understand the mind, check this out. Your mind can't tell the difference between vivid imagination and reality. So I'm here to say, I'm challenging you. GAPAPS, the first step is goals. Write it down. A, attitude. You got to have a winner's attitude, right? You got to say, you know what doesn't destroy me makes me stronger. And so with that, I want you to understand, I studied electrical engineering in school. I know a lot about computers. When I was in school, I could break a computer down. I could put it back together. I worked at IBM, worked at Hewlett Packard as a systems engineer. Do you understand the greatest computer on the face of this earth is not IBM, it's not Sun, it's not DEC, it's not Apple. Where's the greatest computer? That's right, you know, your mind, your brain. But it's all in what you program that computer to do. Come on, somebody. If only garbage comes into your computer as the input, only garbage can come out as the output. My question to you is, see, when you're about to fall asleep at night, what's your inner voice talking to you? See, we can fool other people. I'm being straight up. I'm gonna take off the mask right now. We can fool other people, but you can't fool yourself. There was a time in my life on the outside it appeared everything was going great, but on the inside I had my insecurities. And I'll never forget, on the inside, my insecurities would come up like, you know, you're not that smart. Marlon, you don't really belong here. Marlon, your nose is huge. And all those insecurities would come up. And some of you look at me like, yeah, your nose is kind of big. But my point is this. What truly matters is not what the naysayers say. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. And so what I started doing every night before I went to bed, I learned this in Magic of Believing. It talked about the mirror exercise. And so every single night before I go to bed, after I brush my teeth, I look myself in the mirror and I give myself some positive recognition. Man, you are blessed. Man, great things are coming in your life. And I would just speak it. And of course, at first it felt a little awkward, but now I do it every night after I brush my teeth and my life has taken on new meaning. Why am I sharing this with you? It is your attitude that determines your altitude in life. I'm challenging you for the next 3 days, do the mirror exercise, starting tonight, tomorrow morning, next night, next morning, next night. If you don't like it then, don't ever do it again. But I get emails, letters from all over the world. People say, hey, you came to my corporation. Hey, you talked about the mirror exercise. Thank you so much. It blessed me. G is what? Goals. A is what? Attitude. P is plan. Unfortunately, most people don't have a plan for their life. Everyone, nobody, none of you listening right now, I know I'm talking to you. You don't fail to plan life, but the question is, are you failing to plan your life? 7 P's, prior proper planning prevents pitifully poor performance. I'm gonna say it again, 7 P's, prior proper planning prevents pitifully poor performance. What I want you to understand is you gotta have a plan for your life. And my team and I, that's what we do. We help people develop their plan. So G is what? Goals. A is what? Attitude. P is what? Plan. The next thing is A, action. Nothing happens unless you take what? Action. But what's the one thing that holds people back from taking action? Fear. F-E-A-R, false expectations appearing real. And so the reason why I'm sharing all of this is because I want you to understand your time is now. And then once you take action, do things always go the way you want? No. But it's in that moment you got to make a choice and say, you know what? I'm gonna persist. Because a winner never quits, a quitter never wins. And how do you get through fear? I got 2 questions I'm gonna share with you real quick. Question number 1, what's the worst thing that can happen if you take action? See, it's in that moment when fear comes up, fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of unknown, fear of what will people say. Either you step into your fears with action or you step back and you have a life of regrets. How many of you know what I'm talking about when I say would have, should have, could have, but didn't? So question number 1 is, what's the worst thing that can happen if I take action? As long as you're not gonna die, I say go for it. Even if you get knocked down by life, pray that you land on your back, because if you look up, you can get up. And question number 2, if I don't take action, what will it cost me? You don't want to have a life of would have, should have, could have, but didn't. Those 2 questions will help you move through fear. And then what I want you to understand, persistence, a winner never quits, a quitter never wins. And then S, success. Success is not a destination, ladies and gentlemen. Success is a journey. And I want you to understand this. How do you have a successful life? I read 1 book every 2 weeks. They say the average college graduate reads 1 book every 15 months. The reason why I'm reading so much is because I want to understand, why is it that some people succeed and others barely make it? And when it comes down to success, remember that success is not a destination. Success is a journey. How do you have a successful life? Many successful years. How do you have a successful year? Many successful months. How do you have a successful month? Many successful weeks. How do you have a successful week? Many successful days. So if we start focusing on our daily successes, we'll have a successful life. And when you think about global domination mindset, it's all about you realizing, wow, what am I doing today? So I've got 3 questions to challenge you starting tonight. See, I'm all about take action. I'm asking you tonight in your journal, in your notebook, I'm asking you to answer these 3 questions for the next 40 days. Question number 1, what was great about today? Focus on that. Number 2, what did I learn today? And then number 3, what did I do today to move closer to fulfilling my dreams and my goals? You answer those 3 questions for the next 40 days, every night before you go to bed. I promise you, life will never be the same again. I'd love to connect with you. Again, send an email to purpose@successbychoice.com. We also have our very special program called GAPAPS, and you're gonna love it. Go to gapaps.com, G-A-P-A-P-S. Type in the leader for the special coupon code, and you will be blessed by this program. Videos and online community and so on and so forth, and worksheets, because we are here to link arms. In closing, remember this: a vision without action is just a dream. A vision is merely a passing of time, but a vision with action can change the world. I am Marlon Smith, reminding you there's greatness within you. Stay blessed, and remember, what you do today will dictate where you'll be tomorrow. God bless you.
God bless you, Marlon. Thank you so much for participating with us. I'm going to tell you, I learned so much from hearing from you each and every time. I'm always excited, but I got my notebook out. I don't know who else is watching this without a notebook, but I'm going to tell you, I've been taking my notes already, and I promise you I'm going to have pages before the end of this event, because I wrote down 2 key points that stuck out with me. One is write your goals. Everybody who knows me knows that that's my middle name. Write the vision, make it plain, but focus. That was the other point that just resonated with me. Focus. Focus. In order to dominate, I have got to get laser sharp on what it is that I want to see. And I am excited to have you here. Please hang out in the green room if you can. We would love to bring you back in the end for some questions or last remarks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Wow, guys. I'm telling you, we starting out hot. You better get in position. If you want to be equipped for 2021, get your notebook out, get your pen. I even got my bling pen handy, right? Because I want to take my notes in style. Thank you very much. And I want to see greatness. I'm going to tell you guys, Dr. Deborah, I hear you right there. Focus. Brian, good paps. Boom. That's right. Angela says you must have a plan for your life. True. Resonated with Miss Vivian, and focus from Michelle. I appreciate it, but I'm going to tell y'all something. You ain't seen nothing yet. Coming to the stage, my brother from another mother, brother Cortez. I'm going to tell you right now, Cortez, aka the financial health mentor, is on a mission to empower individuals economically through financial literacy with emphasis on entrepreneurship. Can you tell we birds of a feather flock together? We want to bring him up. And let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something else. Not only are these men powerful, because I got to pick all 7 of these men. Not only are they powerful, but they also ain't hard on the eyes. All right. I want you to know they all is easy on the eyes. So right now you're going to hear about belief and the cycle of success from none other than brother Cortez Springer. I'm turning it over to you, brother Cortez.
All right, Lisa, Santiago, McNeill. I always try to say it like you say it. Thank you so much for your leadership, your vision, and bringing this to the people in a time where it is so very much needed. So I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to share on your platform some of my thoughts on what it will take to have a global domination mindset. Do you know that the internet gives us the ability to reach the entire world? So if you can reach a place, you can dominate that place. And I want to talk to you guys about developing your belief and, more importantly, the cycle of success. Because we've all heard it said that how you believe will determine how you think. And we know that based on how we think, then that will lead to that words that come out of our mouth. And if we say those words often enough, with enough emotion, it will ultimately lead and manifest into actions. Those actions done consistently and persistently enough will ultimately become our habits, right? And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, it is your habits that form and shape your character. And your character is what determines your destiny. But here's the good news, y'all. At any point in your life, you realize that you don't like where destiny is taking you. All you got to do is go back and change how you believe, right? Now, what is, Cortez, this cycle of success that you like to talk so much about? The cycle of success says this: because I believe a certain way, it's going to lead to certain thought patterns. Those certain thought patterns are going to lead me to take certain actions, right? Those actions will ultimately get me certain results. The key to the cycle of success is for you to understand how to properly evaluate those results. Let me ask you guys a question. If I try to do something 10 times and 7 out of 10 times, I not only failed miserably, I look bad doing it. But 3 times I got it right. Most people will consider me a failure. You know why? Because they are evaluating my results without proper context. And a lot of you guys are evaluating your results without proper context. A lot of you guys are comparing constantly your blooper reel to other people's highlight reel. And we all know that comparison is the thief of joy. So when I go back to asking you, I tried to do this thing 10 times, 7 times I failed, 3 times I got it right. Does that make me a failure? Now, let me give you a little context. What I'm trying to do 10 times is hit a major league fastball. Oh, wait a minute. Now that you got some context, you can properly evaluate the results. Because listen, it doesn't matter how horribly ugly I look striking out those 7 times. If I can get on base and hit a major league fastball 3 times out of 10, that means I bat 300. If I bat 300 in the major league, I make millions of dollars, tens and even hundreds of millions of dollars over the lifetime of my career, especially if I can add some other skills. If I can hit 300 and field, if I can hit 300 and lead, if I can hit 300 and I'm manageable, I don't cause distractions in the clubhouse, hundreds of millions of dollars. But you got to understand how to properly evaluate the results. See, you're taking action every day and you're getting certain results. And sometimes the results that you're getting seem small, but any result going in the right direction is a worthwhile result. But you got to understand how to properly evaluate it. So when I take the way I believe, right, and I'm believing that I have a mindset of global domination, this talk is going all over the world. And if I can reach a place, I can dominate a place. So because the way I believe, it leads me to think a certain way. And the way I think leads me to take certain actions. Those actions will ultimately get me a result. And when I learn how to properly evaluate the result, it feeds my belief. And when my belief gets fed, guess what I do? I take bigger, bolder actions. And I get bigger, bolder results. And because I've gotten bigger and bolder results, what does it do? It feeds my belief even more. All because I learned how to properly evaluate my results. Now, how many of you guys know that we live in a universe that's based on duality? What? Duality? What has that got to do with belief, Cortez? Just like there is belief in the cycle of success, there is also disbelief in the cycle of failure. What? Yeah. See, if I don't believe and I don't develop a confidence in myself, I take very few actions. And because I take few actions, I get little results. And because I don't know how to properly evaluate those results, even though they're small, they're going in the right direction, but I don't know how to properly evaluate the results. I'm comparing my blooper reel to somebody else's highlight reel. So it feels like the results that I'm getting are insignificant. So it feeds my self-doubt. And when I start to doubt myself, I take even fewer actions, which means I'm going to get even fewer results. And because I don't know how to properly evaluate the results, I'm constantly comparing my blooper reel to somebody else's highlight reel. It looks and feels like I'm not going anywhere, so it continues to feed my self-doubt. Now I'm on a perpetual downward cycle that could potentially lead to depression, could potentially lead to suicidal thoughts, could potentially lead to me harming somebody else. Because when I get to a place where I don't care about me, There is no way in the world that I can care about you. That's why it's important for you to get around people like the McNeills. It's important for you to constantly feed yourself with this kind of information. And I know I'm running out of time, man, but I want to talk to us about comparison and the thief of joy before we get out of here. Because when you compare yourself to somebody else's highlight reel, ladies, you'll wake up every day and you'll see Beyonce on TV. You'll see Michelle Obama on TV. You'll see J-Lo on TV. And you'll say, they are so beautiful, but you're sitting around in your bonnet because you're at home cooking breakfast for your children. You're in your robe and your gown, and you say, no way I look like that. Of course you don't. You don't have a full glam squad that made you look like that before the cameras came on. Why are you comparing your blooper reel to somebody's highlight reel? Fellas, we'll see an Idris Elba. We'll see a Michael Ealy looking very dapper in their custom tailored suits. And we're sitting around in basketball shorts and a t-shirt that's 14 years old. I don't look like that. Of course you don't. Because you don't have a glam squad. You don't have lighting to make you look your best. Comparison is the thief of joy. Learn how to properly evaluate your results when you're taking action. As long as you're moving in the right direction, ladies and gentlemen, that progress matters. So with that, I'm done. I'm going to leave you with this. Be more, right? Become more. Because when you become more and you be more, you can do more. And when you can do more, you can have more. So until I talk to you guys next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. So hustle up.
Hustle up, baby. Get your money up. Cortez, I was over here holding my mule because I'm going to tell you, you said so many things that inspired me. And I'm going to give you I've been taking notes. I'm telling y'all, I'm taking notes with my beautiful pen. This is the manifestation pen to make it all happen. But I'm going to tell you, evaluation, blooper versus highlight reel. That's for real. I'm up here shouting because the other thing that stuck out with me, my note from you was actions become habits. Yeah. And so often we get stuck in a destination because ultimately that's where it comes. You got to start over with a new action that will drive you and lead you to the destination that you want to go. Properly evaluating those steps as you go and make the changes where you need them to. Cortez, I appreciate every bit that you brought today. If you will hang out with us in the green room so that we can bring you back up towards the end and give some offers and share some wisdom, I appreciate it. Woo! I'm going to tell y'all, I don't know if I'm going to make it through. That's right, Angela. Hustle up. She got another word out of there. Comparison is the thief of joy. I got that one written down too. Brian is about to shout downstairs. We're going to shout the house down over here. Because when I tell you, when you're gaining inspiration, and see, this is the thing about this conference. It's not just going to get you dressed up. We're not just about to get you dressed up with no place to go. Because understand that at the end of this broadcast, if you had registered, you're going to receive an onslaught of tools from each one of these phenomenal speakers. We want you to go ahead and take a moment to register for those tools. You can register for those tools so that every bit of wisdom, maybe one speaker stood out more for you than another. Maybe you resonate with one speaker over another. But if you register at bit.ly/GDM11621, bit.ly/GDM, that's Global Domination Mindset, 11621, January 16, 21, you will get some tools from each and every one of these phenomenal coaches that will help you take what you learned today and put it on steroids so that you can make your year, your decade, your legacy into what it is that you choose for it to be. But you know what? Don't stop now, because we're still on this train and we got another speaker coming up. I'm going to tell you, I am so excited for this next speaker. I am so excited. I'm so excited. I cannot wait for Dr. Frank Marshall to come forth and not just bring a word. Listen to me when I tell you. He is going to bring a word of mind is key. And when I tell you that he is going to equip you with inspiration that will move you to the next level, you're going to learn today. So none other than, bringing to the stage, none other than himself, Dr. Franklin J. Marshall. And I cannot wait.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. I really, really appreciate this opportunity. All the peoples in the world that you know and that much qualified than I am, as my mama would say, as much qualified than I is. You know, out of all those people, you chose me to be on your platform, and I'm very grateful to that. I would never, ever forget that. So now I want to come this evening, man. There were two speakers, man, Cary and Marlon. That was outstanding, man. That was some outstanding stuff. I can tell we pretty much runs in the same circle because I can identify with pretty much everything, not some of the things that you all were saying. I can identify with everything that you are saying because it's so true. So we're not coming on this broadcast this evening with nothing false. Everything that we're sharing is true. If you just take and apply it, your life will run so much smoother and you'll go so much further in life. Because as we all know, mind is key. Mind is key. M-I-N-D, mind is key. M-I-N-E, mind is key. And Y-O-U-R, yours is key. And so that's why we have to continue to work on our mind each and every day. We have to work on our mind every day because if you're not working on your mind, you're working against your mind. If you're not working on yourself, you're working against yourself. So you have to continue to work on yourself each and every day because our mind is our rudder. You know, our mind is our rudder. That's what carries us through life. We can't do too much without our mind. We're not going to do anything without our mind. That's why it irritates me and it bothers me when I see young people just sitting around, not doing anything, and not preparing, not developing themselves. Because when we was born, God gave all us a clean slate. You know, and it's up to us what we put on it. You know, that's why I say we all have 24 hours a day. So that's why we have to spend as much time as possible working on ourselves. But like I say, if we're not working on ourselves, we're working against ourselves. You know, we got to continue to know what it is we want. First thing we have to do, we have to discover who we are, because that's one of the biggest problems. We don't know who we are. When you don't know who you are, you don't know what you're capable are doing. That's the first thing you got to do. You got to spend time with yourself to understand who you are and understand what you're capable of doing, because God has no respect for a person. That's why broadcasts like this right here, what Lisa and Brian are doing, you know, it's so vital. It's so vital. I just pray and hope somebody will be moved today to start wanting to spend more time with themselves, working on themselves. Because one thing we got to do, we got to get clear. We got to get clear on what it is that you want. Just like I said, you're not going to work on yourself. You're not going to do too much for yourself. You don't know what it is you want because you don't know which direction to move. You don't even know what question to ask when you don't know what you want, because, you know, questions steer answer. When you know what you want, you can get to somebody, you know, call somebody like Lisa and Brian, someone up and ask them a question or something. They can give you some answer. And I'm sure if they don't have the answer, they know enough peoples in their circle that they can reach out to and give you the answer. They just those kind of people that they're not going to just tell you just anything to make it look like they have it going on. So that's why it's so important that you got to continue to work on your mind, because mind is key. Like I said, that is your rub. So we got to get clear on what it is that you want. And focus is very, very key. You're not going to do too much if you're not focused. That's the problem with so many of us. A lot of times, you know, we're just monkey minded. We'll start something, we'll stop. We'll start something, we stop. We don't we don't stay focused long enough to be able to see anything through. We start things and stop. We start things and stop. We just monkey mind and we all over the place. You got to get clear. You got to get focused on what it is you want. But when you know what you want, you got to, when you focus in on, first thing in the word focus, I love acronym. Focus is the first thing first. Whenever you're going after something, first thing first, you got to make sure you do the first thing before you do the next thing. Because you start trying to do second things before you do the first thing, you're going to have a problem, just like playing ball. If you playing ball and when you hit the ball, if you run the second base or third base before you run the first base, you automatically out. And that's the way the cycle of life is. You got to do the first thing first. That's what the F in focus stands for. First thing first. And the O in focus stand for other things second. You know, the other thing, first thing first and other things second. And the C in focus stand for cut out the unimportant. Because a lot of time we trying to focus on things that we say that we want to do, but we too focused on being distracted and trying to do other things before we do first and second thing. And so we got to be able to cut out the unimportant, make sure we're doing the things that really matter. Then they're going to coincide to where we're trying to go. And we got to do that. We got to cut out the unimportant. And then the U in our focus stand for understanding what we're doing. We got to be able to understand what we're doing. We got to have clarity. Without clarity, you're not going to do too much for yourself. That's just bottom line. You know, you get burned out quick, whatever. And then the S in focus stand for stand firm on what you believe. So that's why we got to continue to, just like Corey was saying, we got to continue to think bigger, better, and brighter. You know, bigger, bolder, and brighter. That's what we got to continue to focus on, because mind is key. And so like Corey also was saying, I love what he was saying, and that's one of my favorite things as well. You know, we got, like I said, mind is key. You know, the mind will play tricks on you if you lie. So you got to be able to train your mind. So that's why you got to discipline yourself, because the mind jumps all over the place if you don't watch it. You got to be able to train your mind. You can't just let your mind handle you. You got to be able to master your mind. And so that's why I say we don't complain, don't compete, and don't compare. That's why I say I love those 3 C's. We spend too much time, a lot of time, complaining about certain things, about our situation. If you don't like where you are in life, only you can change that. I can tell you how to change it, but I cannot do it for you. You know, you have to want to change, because I learned a long time ago, a person that want to change, can't nobody stop them from changing it. And a person that don't want to change, can't nobody help them change. So whenever you make up your mind, you give yourself a command, you got to have that stick-to-itness and stick to it. Don't let nothing stop you, just like John Hope Bryant would say. So you have to be able to go over it, go around it, or go through it. But whatever it takes, get to it. Don't let nothing keep you from getting to what you want. That's why it's so important for you to know what it is that you want. Don't compare yourself with nobody else. And stop complaining, because when we start comparing ourselves with other people, we get discouraged. Because you got, like I said, now, if I was going to compare myself with Marlon and Sir Charles and all them guys, man, them guys are giant. And Brian, y'all, them guys are giant. If I start trying to compare my man, I'm not good enough, man. I can't compare with them guys. I can't stand up against them guys. And I'm not trying to. See, we're not here to compete. We're here to complete. They may say something, and somebody on this broadcast may not be able to understand the full picture of what they were saying. And I come back and I say something, they may say, oh, okay, now I got it. Now I see. Once was blind, now I see. It makes you go that. So that's why I said we're not here to compete. We're here to complete. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. So now just pray and trusting that you continue to know what it is that you want, and don't let those ants, A-N-T-S, don't let those ants come into your mind, you know, and take you off course and steal your thoughts and kill your determination and all of that. Those ants. What are those ants, Frank? What are those ants? Tell me, Frank, what are those ants you talking about? Ants. What's it? That don't make no sense. What are those ants? Ants stand for those automatic negative thought syndrome. You know, because a lot of times, you know, we be setting up and doing something, we be doing something of value, then all of a sudden just a negative thought or something just drop in your mind. So we have to be able to deal with those ants. We got to deal with those automatic negative thought syndrome. You got to be able to master your mind. That's why you have to master your mind, because that's why self-discipline discipline come in there. Our mind must be trained. We must train our mind to have stick-to-itiveness, to stay focused. Our mind must be trained, to carry, because our mind is what's carried us through life. Because if your mind is not disciplined, it's undisciplined. And it can, then when it's undisciplined, it spins out of control, man. And that's why we got to continue to pay attention to the things that we should be paying attention to. So that's why I said we don't complain, we don't compete, and we don't compare to other people. Because when we start doing that, we headed for a pitfall. We must keep the weeds, pulled up out of our mind. That's those negative thoughts and all this and that comes into us, So we got to continue to look for ideals each and every day. God dropped ideals in our head. Everybody on this broadcast have ideals and things that have been dropped into their mind each and every day. Every day we have different ideas. Like me, myself, I got a huge idea came into my mind today. And so that's why we have to pay attention to those things. When the idea drops into our spirit, they drops into our spirit for a reason. So if we don't pay attention to those ideas, God will pop it into somebody else's head. And you'll be saying, darn, I had that idea. So that's why you got to do something. I got an idea today, and you're gonna be coming soon. I'm gonna say it because I don't want nobody to steal my idea, because we got a lot of idea stealers out there. So I'm gonna keep that one to myself, Lisa. And so I'm about out of time, right?
We good. I appreciate you. Right. If you got a last thought, we're gonna bring you back up towards the end, and then we'll be able to hear from you again. I'm telling you, I appreciate you. And I got some nuggets over here. My notepad, I about have to turn the page, 3 pages already. I'm going to have to go back and fortunately take notes from some of the comments on here, because one of my favorites was the acronym for focus. First things first, other things second, cut out the the unimportant, understand what you're doing and stand firm, honey. I love that. I'm going to put that on my wall. I'm going to put that on my wall. But I love all of there was just so much meat in there, Dr. Frank. There's just so much meat. Don't compete, complete. That is the truth. I am telling you, I am so grateful and so thankful. I'm going to go ahead and put you down in the green room. I appreciate you so much. Continue to stand by. Listen, guys, we are here getting some good stuff. We are here getting some wisdom. We are here getting some knowledge. We are here getting some tools to succeed, to bring forth greatness in your future. I want to take a moment, if you don't mind, and we're going to take a moment for our sponsor. We'll be right back.
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion.
Future Global Domination, all programs and conferences, Write, Publish, and Publish Program 2021, and all of the things that the Empowerment Network will support you with, bringing your product, your products, and your productions to life with greatness. It is all in there. Hang tight for even more.
Hello, I am William Brown from IamWilliamBrown.com, your self-awareness coach. You know how there are so many people out there that feel that they can do so much more with their life, but because it's currently not happening for them, they feel frustrated and angry and disappointed with themselves. Well, what I do is I help them tap into what is calling them or their calling so they can tap into their potential and unleash it to the world so that they can experience all the joy, fulfillment, money, and adventure they already imagined for themselves. Reach out to me at IamWilliamBrown.com or text me your first name and your email at 864-381-8139. and we'll have a conversation.
I absolutely love our next speaker, but I want to take a pause. I want us to take in some of what we've already learned. We had some inspirational power from Brother Marlon Smith. I'm telling you, Brother Marlon Smith gave us write your goals. He gave us focus. He gave us knowledge. He gave us inspiration. And then following on his heels to blow your mind was Brother Cortez. Oh my goodness, when I tell you that I feel like I have already been to one of those high-priced Les Brown conferences that I have sat through in the past, some of those greats that have wisdom that they bring forth, because I'm going to tell you, each one of our speakers, they're not just talking off the top of their heads. They have put in work, diligent effort, and energy to learn and to gain the knowledge for what they have. If you have questions or thoughts or just want to amen who we've heard so far, go ahead and put those comments in the comment section so that we can put them up on the screen. I'm telling you that this is really blowing my mind. Let me let y'all in on a little secret. This was for me. Now I let y'all come along with it, but this was for me. I had some specific goals, some specific desires, some specific needs for myself and my clients and my business for 2021. And I knew that I couldn't enter into that unarmed and ill-equipped. And I knew that the best way to be equipped was to connect with some of the minds that are already doing greatness in our world right now. And so in order to do that, I decided, you know what? Let me assemble them together and then share them with you. Because then we could all get there together, because this is not a competition. This is all about completion. We'll all get to the end. We'll all get to the great place. We will be able to succeed in the greatness that is planned for us, and we will be able to do it together. I'm ready to keep going. Dr. Frank, I got my tidbits from Dr. Frank. I'm ready to hear from Brother William Brown. Let me tell you a little bit about Bill. William Brown brings a unique perspective to the conversation. His clients and audiences are seeking to have his thought-provoking presentations and talk lead people to want to explore and experience a deeper understanding of themselves as individuals. And he does this so that they can experience all the joy, fulfillment, money, and adventure that they have imagined for themselves. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be bringing to the platform Brother William Brown, and his topic and talk today is, are you aware of your mindset? Are you aware of your mindset? None other than William Brown. Take it away, Bill.
Wow, this is indeed an honor and a privilege to be a part of this mind-blowing event and opportunity. But I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you to lean in and listen deeply. I have a couple questions, a story, and a charge. So I'm going to invite you to lean in, listen deeply for these couple questions, this story, and this charge. So, what is your mindset? What is your mindset? I mean, if I asked that question for myself 15 years ago, or maybe even 10 years ago, I would have said that, my mindset, I'm happy, I'm positive, I am I'm optimistic. But somewhere in the background was this feeling that things weren't going to work out for me, that it was all going to crash down in front of me. And so if I'm honest, that's really what my mindset was. And so it wasn't surprising that everything that I was doing, all the wonderful things that I was doing, my business that was successful until it wasn't successful. My happy marriage was happy until it wasn't. I mean, it got so bad that my marriage was not on life support. It was in hospice. I mean, there were so many people around me that I loved and cared for me that told me that it was over and that it would be okay if you allowed it to be over. But in that moment, when my business was failing and I wanted to be optimistic and I wanted to be happy about it, and my marriage was in that space, I was brought to my knees and asked myself a simple question. Who am I? Who am I really? And from that place, I became aware, truly aware of my mindset. And so I'm asking you, do you know what your mindset is? Because there's a lot of things that we say. We talk about, being happy and healthy and, name it, claim it, all, gab it, grab it, all the things that we say. But what is happening behind that? It's without any judgment. Just get aware of it. So how do I get aware of my mindset? So ask yourself, how do I get aware of my mindset? And the more that you get aware of that by embracing the new beginning. So there are so many things happening in your life, and the most of the times we're not able to embrace it or really connect to it because we're not present. We're worried about what happened or didn't happen and how we showed up or didn't show up, and we missed a new opportunity to change our mind. When we become aware, we can make different choices. So embrace new beginnings. The next thing that I invite you to do is to embrace you, the individual. Most of the times, I have this conversation around labels. We show up with our representative. The man label, the woman label, the mom label, the dad label, the entrepreneur label. All those things are great and that's wonderful, but that is not you. That is something that you are able to step into and be a part of that. But the more that you're able to get aware of what do you really think about this? How is it showing up for your life? Then you can make some choices. And thirdly, I want you to embrace your leadership. Because within you, when we look at things like Dr. Seuss saying, there's no one youer than you, or in the scriptures, we hear in Jeremiah 1:5 that before the foundations of the world, before you were in your mother's womb, I knew you. That is the you that I'm asking you to tap into. And through that, before all of this, there is a leadership. There is a purpose. There is a role for you to play in it. And so I'm inviting you to embrace your leadership. There's a number of things that our life is asking us to show up for. I mean, you're going to hear about mindset. You heard some wonderful things beginning at the beginning of this, and you're going to hear some things after me. But until you really know what you say about it, what you think about it, and the decisions that you're going to make for yourself, all of these lovely, amazing, empowering things about mindset will just go away. And so the endeavor, the question to really ask, what do I think of this? What is my mindset around this? Is what is important. I want you to really recognize that feeling of there is more to this, I can achieve more, I can be more, That's not by accident, but you're allowing the mindset that you may not be totally aware of to get in the way of everything that God has called you to do and to be and to have in your life. So embrace it. You know, I can tell you, after that time where I thought I knew and then I didn't know, it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been fun. It hasn't been rainbows and sunshine, but it's my life. And so can you get to a place where it is your life? And no matter what comes up, you can have the confidence that you will show up in it. So I'm going to leave you with this. When you become aware of your mindset, things change. When you become aware of what your mind is set on, you become unstoppable. When you become aware of what you set your mind on, or what is set in your mind, nothing can stop you. So I'm asking you, I'm inviting you to go be you. Thank you.
I was waiting for a So Go Be You. I knew that it was coming. I'm telling you, I am watching all of this magically become a tapestry to stand on. As I hear your words that says, embrace you, embrace your labels, that actually took me back to Cortez, and it compounded upon what he said about comparing your blooper reel to someone else's highlights. When you know who you are, the competition is you.
Right.
It's becoming the best you that you can possibly be. That was awesome, Bill. Thank you so much. The link across the screen is Bill's link to meet with him and have an intro session. Just go to calendly.com/I am William Brown, or you can just go to IamWilliamBrown.com and click on the calendar there as well. We can't wait to hear back from you at the end. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Everything, Bill. I appreciate it. Wow, 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 wow. I don't even know if I got room for anymore. I got to make sure I got another notebook page. I got to make sure that it is moving along. Oh, I love my husband so much. He is a quarterback, a background quarterback, and he always got my back. So I appreciate it. But I'm going to tell you guys, coming up next, up to the stage. See, this is one of those things we're going to keep going another further and another further and another further, because Johnny Campbell is a keynote speaker. He's an author. He's a founder of Rise Up and Win International, which is an organization that helps people to develop mental readiness so that they can embrace change and turn their products and services into profits. He ain't new to this. He's true to this. He is the past president of the National Speakers Association. He is an accredited speaker designation held by, an accredited speaker through Toastmaster International. He is a TEDx speaker and the author of The Agent of Change. I am telling you, you better hold your breath, get your notepad out, get it ready, because it is about to go down. I'm telling you, Johnny Campbell's topic, breakthrough, understanding what drives success. Come on, Johnny.
All right, then, everybody. All right. Here we go. What I want to share with you guys here is a model on change here. Like, what I do for a living is I talk to groups and organizations about how they really deal with change and embrace change. And if there's one thing that we can all agree on, that 2020 was a real bear. However, some people were able to capitalize on all the events that occurred. They were able to prosper and prevail during those times there. And so what I want to talk to you about here is how we, in order to dominate our minds, and be more dominant in 2021. How we think about things is so important. And really, here's the key. To get your mind in the right place, you first must have clarity. A lot of times people think about getting clear, but what about clear? And here's what I mean by that. The first question you have to ask yourself is, what is it that I really want? What do I really want for 2021 for my life? My personal life, my business life, my social life. What is it that I really want? The next question that you have to ask yourself is this: who do I have to become in order to achieve this thing? A lot of times people are told exactly what to do, how to do, and the way to do it. But the becoming part is the real challenge. And that's where your mind comes into place. You've got to start to think the right way. So when I think about success, I tell people over and over again, if you really want to be successful, it comes down to how you see yourself, how you see the situation, and how you see yourself inside of that situation, whatever that situation is. Now, over this past year, a lot of people did not see themselves in a prosperous way. They saw themselves in a defeated way, in an unsure way. But those that had clarity, those that said, this is an opportunity right now for me to do more with my life. For example, when the events occurred in 2020 and everything shut down and I was not longer able to be on the road speaking, what I did was I allowed my computer and YouTube to become my education platform. And I watched videos, and I didn't just watch any old videos. I watched videos on how to improve my business strategies, marketing strategies, promotion strategies. I watched videos on how to do that, and I worked to implement that during those time periods. It gave me more confidence, gave me more clarity. See, that's the key right there. When bad things occur, you think to yourself, how can I prosper in this time? What can I do? Some things we can control, some things we cannot control. I thought about, what can I control? I can control my mindset, how I think about things, how I perceive the situation. And so for me, as a person that speaks for a living and travels the country, I said, I've got to do something to continue to prosper in these difficult times. I created online courses. I created materials. I did things to leverage that time. Each and every one out here listening, if you're a business owner, think about it and say to yourself, when these tough times occur, what can I do to leverage this time, to create opportunity in this time for myself? A lot of people sat around and waited and watched and hoped, and that's not a plan. Your mindset really dictates how you truly see the world. So the first breakthrough is this: how you see yourself, how you see the situation, and how you see yourself getting through the situation. That's the key to your mind getting into the right alignment to do whatever it is you want to do with yourself. The second breakthrough that I want to share with you: in order to see the world correctly, do things right, and accomplish what you want, you have to embrace change. And change and embracing change can be difficult. And this is something that a lot of people haven't heard, but I want to share with you here today. Change is not your problem. It is not your problem. And here's why. Change is an event, a situation, or a thing, but not a person. People were not designed to change. We were designed to transition through change and be transformed by the experience. A lot of people want you to think that change is your issue. It is the transition part. It is that process in the middle of going through things that helps you become what you need to become. Remember when I said, whatever you want, ask yourself, what do I need to become? The thing you need to become, that's the transition part. That's the part that you have to go through. So a lot of times when it comes to helping people deal with change, I always tell them, change is an event, a situation, or a thing. You were designed to transition through the change and be transformed at the end by the experience. That's the breakthrough that a lot of people really don't realize. Now, when I think about this and I talk about this over and over again with people, I'm always telling them that when change happens and then change occurs in your life or anyone's life, there are certain outcomes that can occur with every change experience. A change can improve you, a change can ruin you, a change can confuse you, or a change can stop you. And the only way to know what's going to happen to you is your mind, is how you see that change. It's how you see it. And a lot of times, that's why we get paralyzed, because of how we see it. That's why it's so important to get clear on what exactly you want. And here's the thing about getting what you want. Your dreams, your goals need a due date. A lot of times people won't put a due date on when things are supposed to happen. I want you to think about this for a moment. Every single month you get these little things in the mail called bills. And those bills do not have wish dates. That's a due date when they like expect to be paid. But do you have a due date when all the good stuff's supposed to happen in your life? But isn't it magical how we pull ourselves together when there's a due date? See, your mind responds when there are due dates, when things have a date when it's supposed to happen. And even if it doesn't happen, you're so much closer to it happening in your life. Your dreams need a due date of when it's supposed to actually happen. And then finally, I want to leave you with one more thing here to ponder and think about. And I share this often with groups. Your mind is a magnet to attracting what you want, of course, but also it can only attract what's in your heart. And what's in your heart is based on what your purpose is in life. See, a lot of times when people talk about wanting to become more successful, achieve better financial results, they forget that their purpose dictates a lot of what's going to happen. Now, here's the thing about your purpose. And I pose this question to everyone over and over and again. I ask this question, what is your purpose? And people come up with all kinds of different answers. But let me share with you what your purpose is. Your purpose is to serve others with your gifts and your talents. Now repeat that. Your purpose in life is to serve others with your gifts and your talents. Your job is to develop your gifts and talents to the degree that you can serve the people that you want at the level that you want. But in order to develop, we first have to have the right mindset to develop. We have to get ourselves in the right state of mind so that we will develop our gifts and talents so that we can serve. It amazes me how people walk the earth trying to figure out, what's my purpose in life? What's my purpose in life? That's an easy question. If your purpose is to serve others. But you have to take hold of that and say, I have to develop myself so I can serve people at the level that I would want to serve people. See, everything here that I've shared with you are pieces and parts from a change model that I developed. And I developed this model because I realized in life I needed structure. See, a lot of times when it comes to success, a lot of ideas and principles, but I needed a process, a way of thinking about what I am trying to do. And so for me as a speaker, I'm more of a pragmatist. I'm more of a structured guy who thinks about things pragmatically in a sequence. And that's why I even created a model around what I've just talked to you guys about. The model I developed is called the Transitional Sequential Change Model for Agreement, Acceptance, and Achievement. See, I realized that people need a blueprint, a process on getting to where they want to go. And so that's what I worked so hard to develop so that I can give people a roadmap to where they want to go to achieve what they want to achieve. But in the time that we've had here, 2 breakthrough points. You want to be successful? It comes down to how you see yourself, how you see the situation, and how you see yourself getting through the situation. And the next breakthrough point is change is not the problem. It's how you transition through the change. That is the answer. All right, Lisa.
Hey, man, bro, I'm telling you, I have not been disappointed by any of you guys. You know, the breakthrough point that I got from your talk was to be mindful of what can I control? Because I think so often we waste time worrying, being anxious about, or trying to figure out how we can control things that were never ours to do anything with in the first place.
Exactly. I totally agree. We're about the wrong things.
Worrying about the wrong thing. If I could just get all of that unnecessary stuff out of the way, then I can focus on what I do have control over.
Absolutely.
Everybody in my seat. Oh my goodness. I love it. I appreciate you joining us today, and I appreciate the special gifts that you have for our audience as well. So thank you so much. Please hang out for us. We've got 2 more phenomenal speakers today, and we are going to have the opportunity to hear from these last 2 speakers. And I'm telling you, if you haven't gotten anything out of today so far, it's because you didn't want nothing. That's all I can say. You just didn't want nothing. You either come to receive or you might as well get gone, because there has been an amazing amount of wisdom and knowledge that has been shared so inspirationally today. And we are going to continue with my phenomenal husband up next. Brian Keith McNeill, the sales confidence coach, has been educating clients in the area of sales for over 29 years. He's the best-selling author of The Shortcut, Asking for the Money, and his Not Just for Children's book, Why Rhinos Make Great Salespeople, featuring Mr. Randall the Rhino. He has been an advocate for men, supporting men for almost a decade, and his men's group, Male Empowerment Networks, is dedicated to providing a safe place for men and teenage men to share from their hearts. Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you this, the very next voice that you shall hear will bring forth the topic of you and your purpose, featuring Mr. Brian K. McNeill.
This is how we do it. I am ready. Thank you so much for hosting, Sister Lisa. You've been doing an amazing job. That's another reason why I let you hang out with me, besides the fact that you're beautiful. Shouts out to Johnny Campbell for reading my notes and stealing my stuff. And I have received so much today. But I came bringing a word as well. I'm bringing a word as well. So here we go. A man is awakened from a dream by an angel. The angel says, "Come with me." The man goes with the angel. The angel takes the man to a banquet hall. And in this banquet hall, there's this long table full of food. And on this table, you got your turkey and your ham and your roast beef and your chicken, and you got all the vegetables and the breads and the desserts. The table looks good and it smells good. It's got all the foods that you would want. The man says, "What are you showing me?" He says, "Look at the people." Because on either side of this banquet hall table, there are people sitting on either side of them. And the people are sitting up rigid. The man says, "What are you showing me?" The angel says, "Look closely at the people. The people are hurting and they're crying and they're in pain and they're miserable." He says, "Why? Look closer." And the man looks close and he notices that all the people have their upper torsos tied to the backs of their chairs and they can't lean forward. And in their left hand, they have 3-foot-long forks. And in their right hand, they have 3-foot-long knives. So try as they might, they can't feed themselves. And so they sit in front of this bountiful harvest and they starve. And they're starving to death. Even though everything they would ever want to eat is right there in front of them, they're starving and in pain. And this is wow. The angel says, "Come," and he takes the man to another banquet hall. And in this banquet hall, similar setup. Long table, all the food. The people are tied to their chairs, 3-foot-long forks, 3-foot-long knives. But in this room, the people are happy. The people are well fed, and the people are laughing. He says, "What are you showing me?" You see, in this room, everybody sitting at this table is getting a fork full of food, cutting off a piece of meat, and they're feeding the person in front of them. And the person in front of them is feeding them. And they are working on feeding each other. And in this room, everybody gets well fed. That first room I took you to, everyone was trying to feed themselves and they starved. That first room where they were starving is an example of what hell can be like here on earth. The room where they're well fed is an example of what heaven can be like right here on earth. Brothers and sisters, I know some stuff about you. If you stuck with us this long, it's because you are a champion, because only a champion would do this. You could be doing 100 other things besides sitting here. Only champions would tune into this and stay this long and to receive this food that we are feeding to you. I know that you're a champion. Now, I want you guys to experience more of this heaven on earth because there is something that you have according to your unique set of gifts, skills, and talents that you are here to feed somebody. There's someone on this earth that you are here to serve. And those people that you're here to serve, if you don't serve them, they just won't get served. No one else can do your mission. Now, one of the interesting phenomenons about people here in the United States, people that reach adult age in the United States, almost everyone that reaches adult age and into their 20s, into their 30s, into their 40s, all of these people that make it that far, at some point in their lives, they all had a job. They all had a job. A lot of those people, most of those people in those age groups still have a job. Even though almost all of those people that have had a job at some point have experienced this thing called being fired or being let go or being laid off at some time. Most adults have had that experience where they were either laid off because of the company's sake or their sake or whatever. Even though most people know there's a good percentage chance that you could lose your job, most people go and get jobs. Why do they do that? People get jobs because they need the money from the job. Now, they're all uniquely qualified to serve somebody, but they go and get the job because they need the money from the job to pay for their stuff. That makes sense to me. But most of those same people who've experienced laid off and still have jobs, most of those same people that have that wishes that they were doing something else with their gifts, skills, and talents. They wish that they were living their lives to the full. They wish that they were earning money based only upon their own stuff, not working for anyone else. They want to work for themselves. Now, and they can even imagine what it is that they want to do with their time. I call that job the thing that you do to earn money, the thing that they imagine themselves doing. I call that their thing, your THANG. And they do their thing. And if you have a thing, a job, I say you do your thing, but don't neglect your thing, because there are people who need for you to do your thing in order for them to eat. That your thing could be anything. It could be singing. It could be whatever. It could be acting. It could be doing something with your hands. But that's your thing. And you're here to never, ever neglect your THANG, your thing. And I'm going to say this to you too. You must do your thing now. Why do you have to do it now? Because life is short. Think about this. Think about how much of your life you spent sleeping. Think about how much of your life you spent traveling. Think about how much of your life you spent in school. Think about how much of your life you spent watching, just watching, sleeping, school, traveling, and watching. I'm talking about watching TV, watching movies, watching sporting events, and just watching others do it. Think about all the time you spend watching, sleeping, traveling, and think about how much more time you're going to spend doing those things. Those things are not you actually living. Those things that are getting in the way of you actually living. Those are things that are getting in the way of you actually doing something. So you don't have much time left out of a 24-hour period. Think about how much time you spend sleeping, traveling, going to and fro, in school, or educating yourself some kind of a way, or just watching. That only leaves whatever time is left for you to actually live, for you to actually serve. So your life is short, so you must do your thing now. I learned something a couple of weeks ago. Brother Cortez taught it to me, and he learned it from Dr. George Frazier, your E to E factor. I want to introduce that to you. What is your E to E factor? Your E to E factor is how much time do you spend in entertainment versus education? How much of your time you spend just doing things that are tension relieving instead of goal achieving? Whatever that is for you, try to get them at least close to each other. Your entertainment versus education model. I'm going to hasten to the close because I'm going to be respectful to the time here. And I'm going to end with two thoughts. I'm going to end with two thoughts. Three thoughts, actually. First is the thought of the sin of the desert. The sin of the desert. The sin of the desert is when You know where the water is, but you won't tell anyone else. You know how to help someone, but you refuse to do so. You know how to make the world a better place or help one person, but you don't. The sin of the desert is the height of selfishness. I've talked to you about how you're here to feed, because I want you to get that in your mind, that you're not here just for you. You're here to serve the world. I've talked to you about what makes your heart sing, your thing versus your thing, and how much time you have left actually to really, really utilize. I've talked to you about the sin of the desert and your E factor, because I want to ratchet up your urgency. Those things and those people that you're here to help, they need you to help them now. The sin of the desert is knowing where you can help them and then just not doing it. And last thing, I got 30 seconds left in my 10 minutes time. You do have a thing. You do have something that you imagine yourself doing. And if you have a thought of something that you want to do with your life that you're able to hold on to, if that thought keeps coming to you again and again, there's a reason why it's coming to you. Because when that thought came to you, that thought also brought with it all of the equipment that you would need to bring that thought to life. So you have the tools with you to get that thing done that you're imagining doing. You already have it. So we're going to take a pledge. Now, I'm not going to be able to watch you do it, but we're going to take a real quick pledge. It takes me 30 seconds to do it. The pledge is, I pledge allegiance. Repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to my thing. I'm going to rise above doing what I love. I'm going to make some dough doing what I know. And those that laugh can kiss my assets. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Brian Keith McNeill. I appreciate everything that you shared. I've got my notes here going. Thing versus your thing is always my favorite, because some of us spend our entire lives overlooking our thing when it's just been sitting there waiting for you to give it some attention. Thank you so much. Please hang out for me in the green room. I appreciate it. We have had, Melissa wants you to kiss her assets. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jay. Listen, we are coming to our close. And I'm going to tell you right now, in my heart is, what's singing in my heart right now is that Rocky song. Dun 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 dun. I'm telling you, up next is the wordsmith himself. Sir Charles Cary, radiate the brain and change the game. Sir Charles Cary of the keynote. Sir Charles Cary of making it happen. Sir Charles Cary, and his talk is what's so hard about being you. And I'm telling you, when you're ready, you're ready. Get on up there, Sir Charles.
Hey, Lisa, Brian, thank you so much for having me. First and foremost, I'll be honest with you. I am so excited because, you see people like Lisa and Brian when you're traveling across the country and it's like, oh, wow, I didn't know you were going to be here. You see people like Marlon and Johnny Campbell, because I've met all of them on the road. So I love what I do just as they love what they do. So now I just want to talk to you a little bit about what Lisa said. What's so hard about being you? And the reason why I know that this conference is perfect for me, because my mantra, it fits all over it, all in it, all around it. And there are three mantras that I have. The first one I'm always signing off with: radiate the brain and change the game. I love it. It was suggested to me, and I have been running with it because it was just destined to be that way. And another one is the right mindset is all you need. And you've heard many of the men speak today about mindset, having the right mindset, the things to do and not to do. And the only way you can know what to do and what not to do is by acquiring the right mindset. It may not come overnight, but you do have to have the right mindset. And then in addition, I also tell people the cure for your life starts with you. But the right mindset is all you need. So I don't have a lot of time, and I hate it because I really want to pour everything that I got, everything that I know into you. But I'm excited because, again, this is my topic, and it's just organically me. And one of the first things I want to talk to you about is the lie. You know, a lot of us can't get or move forward because of the proverbial lie. Now, mom and them didn't mean no harm. We know that. We get it. We can't beat up on them. But they told us the best that they could based on what they knew. And in some cases, they were trying to protect us, I'm sure. But, you know, Maya Angelou says, when you know better, you do better. So even though we may have been groomed with this lie about life, about things you do, about things you don't do, about even certain things as it relates to the spiritual aspects of our lives, you've got to recognize it for what it is, because that lie has held many of us back. I don't know how many times. I knew it held me back. I'll be very, very honest with you. So spiritual education and spiritual experiences and spiritual insights are very important, yet they're not the only thing. Academic experiences and insights are important as well, yet it's not the only thing. I want to come at you from a common sense perspective. You know, I talk about mindset. You know, I've written 7 books, right? I got a book series called the Radiate the Brain book series, and everything is about mindset. And the reason why I'm telling you that is not to impress you, trust me. It's just to impress upon you that when you do have the right mindset, when you do know where it is that you want to go, it makes it so much easier. The journey is easier. You can see the destination within sight, within reach, and you have a different appreciation for your life. You see, you are the CEO of YOU. And as a CEO, you have a vested interest in everything that you do. And if you don't take advantage of that, because many people don't realize, you know, there is a responsibility being a CEO, but also there's some benefits. So if you don't take advantage of that, shame on you. You know, in one of my books, I think it's Line by Design, I talk about the importance of critical, in-depth analysis. Now, I am a coach. I've coached many. It seems like most people I coach are either in ministry or they're new entrepreneurs, which is fine because I know God has me where he wants me to be. My point is, when it comes to critical, in-depth analysis, you know, and I know a lot of coaches may frown on it, but you don't always need a coach. What you need is a bit of truth. You need to be true with yourself. You need to be honest with you. And if you can be honest with you, you may not be able to fix everything, but you can slowly begin to recognize where things are going awry. You see, and that's important. You know, as a man thinketh, so is he. So you must begin to look at yourself with a critical eye. It's hugely important. You know, I've done so many things, honestly, and again, not to impress you, but I've done so many things in the latter part of my life. It's just amazing. And when I say amazing, I mean amazing. I mean, I've been in motion pictures. I've done poetry. I've been in the studio with people like Diana Ross and Jocelyn Browns, Ray Goodman and Brown, you know, recorded my own music, shot movies, edited movies. Like I said, written 7 books, been on reality shows, but it all happened in the latter part of my life. And my point of sharing that is, if I've done that in the latter part of my life, what can you not do? Just think about it. You know, there's some things in your mind that you really would like to do, but you are the biggest obstacle. You keep getting in your way. You don't think it's possible. You can't see it through. You are the answer. And you see, when you're the answer, you got to be accountable. And I got 5 things I want to share with you that will help you kind of work through that. Again, nothing is perfect, but the key is if you can realize that, okay, I'm going to do this particular, I'm going to take advantage of this process. And if I fail, you know what? I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna use that what he call critical in-depth analysis to see where I went wrong when I should have gone right. Because I can tell you that's one of the best ways of getting what you want in life and out of life. You see, I was a substance abuser. I did drugs all day, all night. And people that knew me back then find it hard to believe they didn't realize that I was going in that direction. And people that meet me now, they're like, what? You? Yeah, I know I could lose a little weight, but don't judge me, okay? Don't judge me. But the truth is, that was my truth. So, number one, write this down. If you're not taking notes, please take notes. Acknowledge. You've got to acknowledge where you are. I mean, where you are today. Let's just start with today. It's a new year. It's a great opportunity. Let's start with today. Acknowledge where you are. Once you've acknowledged where you are, no matter what, as much as you have or don't have, or as little as you have or don't have, that's your start. Then number two, you want to understand it. Understand maybe why you're there, where you are in life, whether it's the fact that you don't have a lot of money or you have more bills or you're not in the job you want or whatever it may be. Understand what it is that you're acknowledging. Then number three, you want to accept it. Not accept it as in staying there and wallowing in it. No, accept it for the truth. Accept it for what it actually is. And because this is the big problem. Most people, if you tell them that they got an issue, they don't want to accept it. They don't want to hear it. They're going to get an attitude at you for bringing it out to them or to saying it out loud. They don't even hear it. No matter how many times you've seen it, you could have busted them doing it. You could have done it with them. And no matter what, they don't want to hear it. So once you've accepted it, in fact, knowing that that's what it is, then you want to begin to identify the skills needed to overcome it and to move beyond it. See, once you identify those skills, now you've got something to work with and something to work on. And in all my books, whether it's Radiate the Brain and Change the Game, What's So Hard About Being You, or even Aligned by Design, they're written in a manner that causes you to be accountable to you. So it's your own personal resource. I'm going to ask you questions about who do you look up to? When was the last time you may have done something outside of your comfort zone? The people that have influenced you, who are they? And what did you actually learn? Now, you may not share it with me, the answers. You may not share with anyone else because you're reading this book. But trust me, I had no idea. I've had millennials, boomers. I think I get these mixed up. The Gen X is one of those things. Gen Xers, Gen Ys, whatever. They have read my book and told me that they see themselves in this book. They've gotten different ones, of course, but the style is what makes them be able to see themselves, because I'm straight up. I believe in transparency and I believe in simplicity. If I want to reach you and help you, I must make it simple. If I'm going to use highfalutin terms and terminology that's, way over someone's head, or 12 and 13 letter words all the time to sound like I'm important and I'm extra intelligent, I am not doing what God has given me to do. I'm doing a disservice because I'm trying to showboat versus serve. So the fifth thing is, once you have identified the skill set, you've got to choose what it is that you're finally going to do. And let me tell you why. I told you a few moments ago, I've been in movies, I've done music, I've edited, I've done poetry, I've written books. All of these things are in my wheelhouse. See, I'm not trying to be an IT guy. I'm not trying to be a carpenter. I'm not trying to be an electrician. I'm doing what God has put on my life. And he's given me the ability to create, to be innovative. And he's given me the ability to know people. So that's what and why the things that I do and have done all focus around helping people, serving people. I believe Marlon said it earlier. The point is, no matter what you do, it should be something that does serve people. So, and then finally, the last part of that fifth thing is, Not only do you want to choose what it is you want to do, but you want to educate yourself in the process. I can tell you right now, I have spent thousands upon thousands of dollars in my education as an adult. And I'm not talking about college. I'm talking about coaches, mentors, conferences, workshops, books, tapes, videos, just to be where I am and to think that I was a substance abuser. And then I had to deal with being a 2-time cancer survivor. You know that most substance abusers, the first time they get any morsel of stress, they're right back into that same lifestyle that they left. So once again, I ask you, if I have been able to do the things that I've done, what is it that you cannot do? Stop hiding behind being perfect. Stop hiding behind, waiting to get everything aligned so that you can finally do it. No, just freaking do it. Don't worry about the degrees. If you're going to get one, fine, get it. But don't let that stop you from starting. Don't worry about, crossing all your T's and dotting all your I's. Just get it started. This morning, we released an international infomercial, and I had no plans on ever doing an infomercial. Why? I remember back in the day seeing those things at 1, 2, and 3 o'clock in the morning. Yet today, I put out an infomercial, and I've got some pretty good feedback. So I'm excited. I'm glad that I did it. So when I say radiate the brain, you should be thinking, I need to change the game. The cure for your life, it does start with you. Now I'm losing track on time. So Lisa, you have to let me know if I'm going too far or if I got more time to go. But the bottom line is I've got a couple of things coming up that may serve you because it is about leadership. You must become the leader of one before you can become the leader of some. Even if you're not trying to be a leader, you are a leader anyway. As a parent, as a teacher, maybe on your job or in your place of worship. Leadership is what it is, and it needs certain skills, and you have to fulfill those skills to be the best leader that you can possibly be. I'm doing an event called Tell Your Story, Live Your Story, Be Your Story. It teaches you the finer skills of communication. It also teaches you how to write a book. But if 50% of good communicators get more opportunities, why would you not want to take advantage of that? And if you want to, just go to the Wordsmith Speakers Alliance and use the promo code TYS and join us on February 27th, because I'm telling you what I know. Everyone that has worked with me and been coached by me, now they're writing their own books. They're doing television interviews. They're doing their own conferences, et cetera, et cetera. Thank you so much, Lisa and Brian.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sir Charles. I appreciate you. I appreciate the word that you brought forth. I'm telling you, my word, the nugget that I got from you was the lie.
Yeah.
The lie. That was the nugget, because that actually is the theme of the book Raised by Chickens. I don't know if they meant to tell the lie. I don't know if they were just trying to take care of us, but I do believe that they were just doing the best that they can. And now that we know better, we have got to do better.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much. I'm going to put you down. I'm going to bring everybody up in just 1 second. I'm going to bring everybody up. I'm telling you guys, today was Global Domination. What you say? We brought it here, and now that we have everybody up, I want everybody to take a bow. Take a bow, guys. Oh my goodness. I am telling you, I appreciate each and every one of you for being a part of today's conference, summit. I don't even know what to call it, showcase. You are amazing. I want to give each and every one of you an opportunity to share a little bit about what you want to connect with the audience with. I'm going to go ahead and start with Cortez, if you will. Cortez.
Awesome, Lisa. Again, thank you so much for your leadership in putting this together to serve the people right at the time that they need to be served, to kick off the new year with the food, the nutrition that they need to sustain them for the entire year of 2021. What I would like to leave folks with is understand this new invention that's now 25 years old called the internet is what I call the great equalizer, right? I don't need anybody's permission. There's no more gatekeepers. I can go directly to the people who feel where I am coming from. If they picking up what I'm putting down, then I don't need nobody in the way. So what I put together for Lisa's guests, everybody who has plugged into this summit and this wonderful event is what I call Personal Branding 365. Everybody already is a personal brand, whether you know it or not. All you got to do is ask 10 people what they think about you. If you're a jerk, 8 out of 10 of those people gonna say you're a jerk. That's your brand. If you are kind, 8 out of 10 people gonna say you are kind, and that's your brand. The question is, do you know how to be intentional about building, developing, cultivating, and growing that brand so that the people who see you will see what you want them to see about you? So that's my gift to everyone who has given up their time, and I should say invested their time to learn how to develop a mindset that will allow you to dominate not your city, not your county, not your neighborhood, not your state, your region, but when you take this thing seriously, you will empower yourself to dominate the globe. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to go over to the center square. Go ahead, Brother Johnny.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for having me here. The offer that I have is pretty cut and dry. We're living in a time with massive amounts of change, and you can have a job, which is great to have your job because that's your income, but also you need to think about what is that hobby, what is that thing you love to do, and think about how can I turn that thing I love to do into something that can create some additional income for me in my life. And I'm a living example of that. I'm not only a speaker, but I have other hobbies. And one of my hobbies is fishing. And I turn my love of fishing into my side hustle, where I actually make money from fishing and doing YouTube videos. So I learned over the pandemic how to do all of this. And now what I'd like to do is offer anybody out there who has a hobby that they'd like to turn into their side hustle an opportunity to do some consulting with me. And that's why I'm offering them that free 30-minute consultation. And we'll talk about where you are and if I can help you turn your hobby into a side hustle. And I'm using that technology that the man before me just mentioned. So if you were to text 352-707-9945 and the word right now 007, that puts you on my list, and that allows us to schedule that time. So it's just like being the hair club for men. I'm not only talking about it, I use it. So I want you to use it as well. So that's what I have to offer. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And gentlemen, you don't have to tell them where to find it or where to get it. They're going to receive all of it in the bundle after they register. Once they register, they're going to have a link to all of your links. They're going to have a list to all of your phone numbers. They'll have everything, but they've got to register. That link is floating across the bottom of the screen. So I'm going to go ahead right now, and I would ask Dr. Frank, if you want to share with the audience for a reason to connect with you, and we will get them your contact information. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Lisa. I want to just start them, just let people know I'm here to be able to help people, to guard their mind, because, to guard their mind and to how important it is to listen to their inner thoughts and everything. Because sometimes, our inner thoughts and things come into, we have to tell ourselves just to shut up, get out the way. And sometimes some of those inner thoughts and things that come into, we got to learn how to not listen to it, because those inner thoughts and things that come into our minds sometimes, it'll tell you, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. Now, when that people tell me that, well, I'm not smart enough to do that. Who told you that? See, those are things that we keep telling ourselves. We got to watch those thoughts and things that enter our mind. Those things will destroy you. They ain't nothing but I don't like getting Satan credit, but those things that Satan do to try to destroy you, because he know if you get to your things that you would put him on this earth to do, you'll be snatching a lot of people's out of his jaw, and he know that he's going to do everything he can to discourage that. So you got to watch those inner thoughts, what you call auto-suggestion, those things that you says to yourself. You got to be very careful, and you got to be careful about I don't fit in. You know, just like me, myself, like I said, you got some giants right here. I could have either well say, I don't fit in with these guys right here. But I said, I have no problem. At one point in time, I would have had problem with that, but not no more. But just like I said earlier, we're not here to compete. We're here to complete, you know.
Yes.
And so everything what everybody said today, man, it was outstanding. Y'all put together an outstanding program today, at least. And I appreciate you letting me be a part of it. So if anybody want to get in touch with me, they can give me a call. It's 770-597-1801, or they can go to my page, forceone.org, you know, and we'll go from there. I'll be willing to work with them to encourage people to encourage themselves, because they got lots more in them that they can imagine.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And Bill?
Wow, this has really been amazing, and you know, I've taken a lot of notes, and I am excited to not just be a part of this, but to really take all this on. The one thing that I want to leave everybody with, because you'll see after you register that I'm giving everyone Discovering You workbook. So it'll allow you to just kind of go through it, spend some time, and just learn more about yourself. And if you need assistance, I have discounted the Start Your Journey to $47 from it's a $97 value that I've discounted for everyone that has registered here today that want to take care of that. So you can go from there. But I will leave everybody with this, that in the context that we are whole and complete. We are whole and complete. So I just love what was said earlier, that when we become aware of our completeness, there is no need to compete. So that is what I'm leaving you with today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bill. And my love, my sweet, my husband, Brian.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you all for giving up your time on a Saturday. I really, really appreciate you guys. As I look at the dais, I was impressed with the dais all the way up till today. But as I look at the dais as it is right now, I noticed 4 of us rock a wonderfully bald head. And I also noticed that 4 of us rock a beard.
You got some free products?
And at least one of us need a haircut.
I enjoyed you guys' time. The diversity of talent and information was amazing to me. I believe the 2 most important skills in our lives are the ability to communicate and the ability to sell. I think those 2 skills have more to do with our happiness or sadness, success or failure, prosperity or poverty than any other skills. Now, I am a sales confidence coach. And what I do is I help entrepreneurs that have a service to sell to the world, to sell it better than they ever could before, so they can earn more money than ever before. And I infuse them with the skills so they can be super confident in their ability to sell it. So if there's any of you guys who want a little bit of help on that, our first conversation is free. It costs you no money other than the courage, which is, I think, is another one of the most important skills of life, is courage. Yes. Other than the courage to schedule it. If you'll take the courage to schedule it, and if you've registered, Lisa will send you my links where you can schedule a complimentary session with the sales success coach. Again, I love all of you guys for being here. Every one of you guys in the chat and on the feed, whether you chose to raise your hand and say hello or not, thank you. You made our hearts sing by being here with us. And those of you who registered, y'all got more other stuff coming, and y'all got a lot of good stuff coming at you. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Yes, lots more other stuff. Word from the wordsmith himself. What all do you have for our audience, Sir Charles?
First and foremost, I think we need to take this show on the road. Okay.
Oh, that would be nice. That would be nice.
No, I think
That'd
we
be nice.
we all were very complimentary of one another, even though we're speaking on the same topic. And that was, to me, amazing. And I just applaud you, ladies and gentlemen, the McNeills, for allowing this to happen. For myself, I'll tell you really quick, as I try to stay busy. One of the things that I'm doing is the Tell Your Story, Live Your Story, Be Your Story event. It's like 55% off. I can tell you this. It's a full day boot camp. And, you know, like Johnny said, if you need a consultation and know whether you should or shouldn't, or, you know, what are the ins and outs of it, I get it. Not a problem. Let's do that. 301-254-2275. And I would love to talk to you about the inner workings of what you'll get out of it. But also on February 4th, we got this thing called Fan Room Live. Cedric the Entertainer's put this thing together. So I was talking to one of his co-producers, and we're going to do this on February 4th. I think that's like $25, whatever it may be. But it's a great way to start the new year. I believe it's titled Learning How To From Those Who Do, you know, dealing with society in the new norm. So I'm excited about it. I've always got something going. But if you want to talk to me about, you know, the Tell Your Story, Live Your Story, or the fan room, or maybe even coaching, because I only take a few people, I'll be honest with you, because it's a lot of time when you have to coach someone. Call me at 301-254-2275 and say, hey, I was on the event and I saw you and I'd like to get more information. That's fine. And also, Lisa's going to send you the information if you register.
Yes, absolutely. I will. And I appreciate that. I'll be sending out the contact information from all of our amazing speakers, along with their special giveaways and gifts that they put aside just for our audience. I'm going to tell you guys, it has been an honor for me to put together this event. I am grateful for the opportunity. February is going to be chock full of showcases. We actually have 3 scheduled. The first week in February, February the 6th, will be our author showcase, African American authors. On February the 13th will be the Love and Romance Spoken Word Showcase. And then on February the 20th is the Children's Book Author Showcase. And those are children's books that have been written by African American authors about with characters that represent the children of color, so that we can be inspired and really, really, really take 2021 by the throat and dominate. I am Lisa Santiago McNeill. This has been Global Domination 2021, the showcase of all showcases. I look forward to continuing to move forward with you in 2021, bringing you the speakers, authors, and entrepreneurs to empower and enrich your life. Meanwhile, keep walking on water.